Well, hey everyone, thanks for joining us on King of the West tonight. Gary Thomas and George A. coming at you. And George is just now coming back from Chico, California, getting the Heady Performance Maxim Chassis giveaway car.
Yeah, Hot Coats up in Chico did a beautiful job of powder coating the chassis for this year's giveaway. Can't wait for the banquet where we can give this chassis to one of the top 14 drivers.
Definitely a great looking chassis. We're going to get into that a little bit later in the show, but tonight we have an awesome show on tap for you, highlighted by the champ, Jonathan Allard, calling in for an interview.
J.A., man, I tell you, that guy since 2005 has been on fire.
And then we're also going to hear from kind of Mr. Consistent, I guess you'd like to call him, out of Elk Grove, Bobby McMahon. Of course, one of 3 drivers locked in that very, very tight 3-way battle for the 5th spot in points. And at the end of the night, Bobby came out on top.
And a big improvement over last year. We'll talk about that later.
And of course, we're going to put a wrap on the Cotton Classic last weekend that finished off the King of the West Sprint Car Series season. Just a phenomenal event overall.
Gary, do we have enough time to recap
Probably
that?
not.
That was a big event. It was huge. It was fun. What a way to end the season.
It was a great night of racing, and along those lines, we're also going to show you some extended highlights from the night, featuring a couple of on-track interviews with Jason Myers, former World of Outlaw champion, and then Tim Kading, our last year's champion, wrapped up the car owner title for Roth Motorsports, of course, along with Kyle Hurst.
Gary, you know, we just wrapped up our last race of the season, but we still got one big weekend to come yet.
Of course, Championship Awards Banquet Weekend. Friday, November 9th is going to be our fan appreciation party. A lot of fun there. The next day is going to be our car show and King's Banquet, and then on Sunday is going to be our general business meeting.
2 days of fun, and then we get down to business on Sunday morning and discuss next year and the racing schedule, some of the rule changes. All the teams are going to want to be there to hear about that. So with that, why don't we go inside and talk a little bit about the Cotton Classic?
Let's go. When you think about great ways to finish off the season, I think the Cotton Classic last Saturday night definitely exemplified that. Just an awesome show all around.
Awesome is a great word because, first of all, huge fans. They got there early. I mean, in our autograph session, our free programs ran out early. Our autograph posters ran out early. I mean, they were signing anything. We had some Goodyear stick patches. They were signing Goodyear patches. It was amazing. And the amount of T-shirts. I think Craig Stidham must have given away 25 T-shirts.
At least 25 shirts. And the thing that stood out for me was the atmosphere of the crowd. I mean, we definitely want to thank all the fans for the kind comments. I know I couldn't walk about 10 feet without somebody stopping me and thanking us for this season. Just a great crowd, very enthusiastic, and they really got into the racing.
During one of the breaks, I went down behind the grandstands and the masses of people. Yeah, thank you. Masses of people coming up like they did with you. I had a lady come in and says, "Oh, I just love the bathrooms. They're so clean. They're so nice."
The best bathrooms in California.
Yeah, absolutely, the best bathrooms in California. Had the food concessions. They put in extra lines. There were still lines, but the food's so great you don't mind waiting. And they put in more beer stands. They put in. I mean, it was just everything was around the fans. They had a lot of vendors.
Right.
I mean, what an atmosphere. It was an event.
It was a huge event, and you think about quality of field. I had a guy stop me when I was walking up saying, "This is one of the deepest fields for a King of the West or Golden State show in probably 5 or 6 years."
Absolutely. I mean, our top 3 finishers, all World of Outlaw winners.
Right, a World of Outlaw champion.
And current champion, yeah, absolutely. It just showed you the quality of the field. And we had, Larson was right there in the running. He won an outlaw race this year. Rico Aber was right there. Right. He's been winning all over the country. It was just amazing. And the crowd, what I thought was cool was when we brought the top qualifiers out in the pace truck for the national anthem. And you introduced the top 3 drivers. They got the Rico. I thought the crowd was going to go crazy. I mean, I thought the whole grandstands was coming down.
It was, man. Pretty great to see Rico, Kyle Larson, and Evan Suggs. 3 great guys, and people that we love having each and every week.
Hey, there's the new young guns of the sport. Of course, Kyle Larson is going to be the NASCAR sport, but they are the guys that are making things happen. And the Cotton Classic. First of all, Scott Woodhouse, his wife.
They do a great job. I mean, you think about hospitality, we have a lot of great promoters that work with us. That Scott and Lisa are, second to none.
You go to right now, I could say, you want to go to the dictionary and look at promoter, Scott's picture is right there. He is absolutely phenomenal. He has a full-time job.
Right.
And runs 2 racetracks and does a phenomenal job of promotion.
He's out there 8 o'clock in the morning on the grader, on the water truck. I mean, I get up, I walk out of the motorhome and I hear the water truck and grader going. He texts me like 9 in the morning telling me I can put a banner at a certain place in the facility. I mean, the communication with Scott, and he really is a race fan.
Well, what about not this morning, not just race day? I mean, we get calls at night here at the office from Scott, and he's someplace promoting the race at Tachi Palace, at a festival downtown, in Fresno. He really went out of his way, especially this one. He wanted the end of the season in a big way, and believe me, this was a big way.
Definitely huge. Let's get into the racing. I mean, Tim Kading, of course, winning the main event. Kyle Larson had a little bit of fuel, I guess, starvation problems. You want to say with a couple to go?
Yeah, and I think they may have had a pickup problem in the tank because both those team cars, Rico Abreu ran out just before Kyle did. And so that was a tough break because that was a tremendous battle for the top 4 spots.
Yeah, Kyle did a great job to get around Tim early on, and then Tim was all over him in traffic. We had a yellow with 2 to go. Set up that green-white checker restart as we see in the highlight package, and TK went zooming by, pick up his second Cotton Classic. And kind of interesting, Tim's first Cotton Classic win came 10 years ago, and he passed Tommy Tarleton on the last lap. So late race heroics, nothing new for TK.
And you know, one of the things he said in one of the interviews earlier this year was, I just want to finish the Cotton Classic this
That's
year.
right.
And he did. He finished in grand style. Hey, what about Jonathan Allard? I mean, he started at back of the pack.
Right.
And worked his way up and finished on the podium.
We're used to seeing Jonathan Allard qualify good and always make it into the dash. Well, didn't qualify, in typical JA fashion. His heat race, he was a so-so. Didn't make the dash for one of the first times this year, and then the guys battled back. He and Ashley Smith hit the setup in the main event and drove from 11th to 3rd.
Yeah, it was just amazing how all that came together for him. It's like okay, I'm going to take it easy to start of the night, and then I'm going to come on at the end, and it all worked out for him. I'll tell you. Second Cotton Classic victory for Tim Kading.
Yep. And then, of course, his team card, Kyle Hurst, driving it for Roth Motorsports his 5th time this year. Something amazing about Kyle is in 5 starts with Roth Motorsports with KWS, he's been in the top 5 every single night. And that's what you got to do when you get into great equipment. Kyle Hurst definitely took full advantage of that. And look what it's parlayed him into. I mean, we had him on the show last week. He got to run all the California Outlaw shows, and then he's going to be in the car for the Trophy Cup this weekend.
I think we might see more of that next year.
A little teaser, maybe?
Maybe it could be a little teaser. I think we might find a little more about that at the banquet. But so another good reason to come to the banquet.
Absolutely. You look at the hard charger, George, another young gun that we haven't seen quite as much this year, but whenever he races, he's a joy to have on hand. Corey Eliason.
I was going to say, you tell somebody that a driver came from 16th to 5th, you're thinking of a Tim Kading or a Brent Kading or a Jonathan Allard or just any of the
some of the top dogs.
Top dogs. Yeah, I was looking for that word, top dog. But no, Corey, he put the hammer down.
Yeah, did a great heck of a job. Is going to get a $200 product certificate thanks to Ed Kokenauer at Pit Stop USA. Of course, finishing up our 2nd season with Pit Stop USA as our hard charge sponsor. We definitely want to thank Ed and Alyssa and Andy, the whole gang over there.
Hey, what about the kid fast time, Rico Abreu?
Rico Abreu had a heck of a show going. It was 5th in the main event, battle with Jonathan Allard. But think about fast times this year. We had 17 races and 11 different fast time qualifiers.
You showed me that stat. I thought you calculated wrong. I couldn't believe that. 11 fast time qualifiers in 17 races. Now, if that's not bringing the quality of the teams together.
A lot of parity.
A lot of parity.
We definitely want to thank Blake Robertson, BR Motorsports. This is our first year with them, partnering up with the Fast Time Award.
Yep.
Rico will get a $100 product certificate thanks to Blake and all the guys over there at BR Motorsports. So, nice little deal. He's also going to get his Fast Time Award from Tim Grant.
Hey, one of the things we need to talk about, you probably read it if you're on the message boards or somebody was Twittering you that night.
That was me.
There was a horrendous accident in the non-wing race, and they lost about 150 foot of front straightaway fence, cut one of the metal poles in half, and people were saying, it's going to take an hour or 2 to repair this. Scott and his crew got together, and the one thing Scott did was really cool. Half-price beer until the fence is fixed.
The crowd liked that.
I think the crowd was loving that deal.
I guess to wrap up, just a great night overall at the Cotton Classic, and we had a lot of fun. Like I said, Scott Woodhouse, Lisa Woodhouse did a great job, and I think it's enough of us talking. I want to see the highlights.
I just want to say one more thing. Thank you, Scott, for a great season. Thank you for a great year-end race, and I look forward to even more next year in 2013.
I want to see a 2-day show next year.
2-day Cotton Classic. Hey, if you want a 2-day Cotton Classic, we're going to post a number for King Speedway. You call them and say, I want 2 days of Cotton Classic next year, and see if we can get Scott to make that a 2-day show. Now, let's go see some highlights.
Let's check them out. Nice even start. Off the turn. Oh, contact. Murphy and Faria contact at the flag stand. As the white flag will be coming out this time by Rico. One more time around the 3/8 mile oval for the 20-year-old out of St. Helena. Last week finished 5th at the Gold Crown Midget Nationals in Illinois. He powers through turns 3 and 4 to the checkered flag. Rico Abreu going heat race number 1. Stidham a little wide off turn 4. Here comes Larson closing up. Into turn 1, Stidham a nice smooth line. Larson loses a little bit of ground down the back stretch for the final time. Into 3 and 4. Stidham on the cushion. Larson on the bottom. It's going to be Stidham picking up the win. Kyle Larson second. As Evan Suggs closes in on brake Katie. Battle for second starting to heat up. Suggs to the inside as the yellow lights will come on for. Oh, and Statler has his left front. Looks like the entire wheel has come off. Willie Williams avails a white flag to signal 1 lap to go for Bobby McMahon. Evan Suggs, Stephen Allard, and Brent Kading in your transfer spots. Down the back straightaway, off of 3 and 4. How about it for Bobby McMahon, the winner of heat race number 3? White flag as Myers heads into turn 1, looking for a heat race win and an automatic starting spot in tonight's 6-lap dash. Down the backstretch, he's going to have to deal with the lap car of Danielle Simpson. Myers plays it nice and safe off turn 4. Checkered flag for Jason Myers. Down the back straightaway, nice and smooth through turns 3 and 4. Race fans, Tim Kading will be on the pole of our Cotton Classic. The white flag's out, checkered flag this time by Willie Croft. Will win your last chance qualifier. Corey Elias in second.
We are ready to go, race fans. Pick out your favorite and cheer them on. Doug Lockwood, our director of competition, celebrating the birthday tomorrow. Here we go, Green, big trouble on the front straightaway.
Once again, 900 horsepower times 22 out there for the King of the West Sprint Car Series. And you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. The Canson Oil King of the West Sprint Car Series, presented by Goodyear. Back out, Kading gets a jump, but check out Myers. Myers took a brief look to Kyle Larson, a big flip, Stephen Allard upside down. As the field rumbles down the front stretch into turn 1, Tim Kading once again with the advantage. Abreu down to the inside of Evan Suggs through turns 3 and 4. Slide job. Abreu up the 4th. Kading and Larson fighting it out for the top spot. Here comes Kyle Larson to the inside. Through turns 3 and 4. Kyle Larson slides to the front. New leader, lap 7, Kyle Larson. Tim Kading going to try to come back at him down the backstretch. Larson now ducks to the inside, blocks the line of Kading. Nice move by Larson. Rico Abreu has also gotten around Kyle Hurst for 4th. As Kyle Hurst tries to close in on Jason Myers in the fight for 3rd. Abreu closes in on Hurst now. Kading now gets slightly pinched off trying to get underneath Kenny Allen. Trying to keep chase after Larson. With 17 laps down, 13 to go. Kyle Hurst continues to close in on Jason Myers. Rico Abreu right there in 5th. Abreu, Hurst, and Allard closely battle for 4th. As Larson tries to escape in the 77. Tim Kading 2nd, Myers 3rd. Hurst and Abreu round out your top 5. Kading now gets underneath the lap car of Mike Faria with 27 down. Rico Abreu off the pace. He heads back to the pits. Tough break for Rico.
as the leaders will come by to complete lap number 28. 2 more laps to go in the Cotton Classic. Super duper heavy lap traffic ahead of Larson. Larson goes on the top side, gets around Sean Becker. Tim Kading going to try to follow suit as they'll come by for the white flag. Larson and Kading closely together, and the yellow will come out. Hold everything, race fans. Mike Faria. This is Kyle Larson. Tim Kading, round turns 3 and 4. Once again, 2 laps to go to decide the 2012 Cotton Classic. Larson out front, Tim Kading, big head of steam, and Tim Kading will take the lead. Kading goes to the bottom side, Larson to the top. Kyle Larson has a problem. Larson with the problem in the 77. He's going to fall back. White flag is out, and the checkered will be next. Off of turn number 4, it'll be Tim Kading, your Cotton Classic champion. Jason Myers second, and John Allard third.
Cotton Classic champion, Tim Kading.
You know, it was. I was hoping for lap traffic. You know, we caught Kyle there. He was really good lap. He was good all night. You know, my shout out to him. You know, he's going to be a hell of a racer, and hopefully he gets to NASCAR sooner or later. But you know, it's definitely fun racing with him. I think he ran out of fuel, so we kind of got lucky there. We'll take it as we get them, and you know, I know Kyle will be back next week at Trophy Cup to definitely make us work for it a lot harder than we did tonight.
But Jason Myers tonight, returning to a 410 Sprint car in California. Jason, you haven't raced a lot this season, but when you have, you finished up front, so it's a pretty good night for you.
It's been great. It's great to get back in a race car here and to be out here tonight with Tom Tarleton and Tachi Palace Hotel Casino, Corporate America Lending, Bandy and Associates, all these guys that make this possible. They got a great team here and giving me an opportunity to get in the car, which I think I've been missing a little bit. So it is nice to be out here, to have my family out here tonight. We got a lot of people here from the office out here tonight, and just, you know, great racetrack. They done a great job here with, looked like a great crowd tonight. So, you know, I've always loved coming here. Scott's doing a heck of a job with this place, and hopefully we'll get to visit a little more next year.
On the line right now, we have the man that captured the 2012 King of the West crown this past weekend in Hanford, Mr. Jonathan Allard. Thanks a bunch for joining us, J.A.
It's great to be on.
Well, another year, another championship for Jonathan Allard. Has to feel pretty good, buddy.
Yeah, you know, I was really looking forward to trying to get this accomplished. Tim got it last year, and it was the inaugural King of the West championship. So to be second in line to him, it's a pretty big honor. He's a great champion, and to be able to follow him up, it's been quite an honor.
Now, since you joined Williams Motorsports in 2005, you won 3 championships in that time span. You know, we asked you this on Saturday on the front stretch. But when you first got in that Zero car, did you ever fathom the amount of success that you've had?
To be honest with you, I didn't. I know that the Williams Motorsports car has been pretty dominant on the West Coast, but the way everything meshed together, as soon as I got in the car, we started a few races late in that season, and we were able to capture Maury the championship for the car owner, and I was a few notches off. I think that's the year that Sean Becker won the championship, right. And ever since then, you know, it's just been a blessing. I would say that I've not really ever driven a car that I've meshed so well with for such a long-term situation. I've had rides in the past, you know, like the Right One construction car that have been great for me. You know, really got me some good exposure, some great experience. The Duke and Scott McMillan 10 car did a lot for me in my career. Bill Owens, they, you know, going back through the list, I've had a lot of good rides and a lot of good opportunities. But I'd say with the Williams Motorsports car, I've really been able to find who I am inside the race car as well as outside the race car, and it's done really well for me.
Now, to go along with the championship, another one of your big accomplishments this year, of course, was winning the Dave Bradway Jr. Memorial for the 5th time in your career, and you became the first person to ever do that, to win it 5 times. That had to be a pretty special milestone for you.
Well, definitely. I know that the first time I won it, that was such a special situation for me. It was really one of the first big races that I've ever won, and and the Dave Bradway Memorial was a special thing to me. Growing up with a lot of the guys that were around Dave Bradway and being a part of their lives and knowing a lot of what Dave Bradway represented. He went out and he raced hard and unfortunately lost his life doing what we all love to do, and so it really rings true to who we are as race car drivers, and he showed the potential of what a young guy coming up on the West Coast could do, and to follow through and win some races, and especially to have those memorial races under my belt. It means a lot to me. And I think that with the Williams Motorsports team, it's just the comfort level of being able to go to these big races. It seems that we are able to capture some big events, and I think it's the way that Ashley and Maury approach the races that helps me calm down and be able to do the job.
Now, you talk about big races. This weekend we have $20,000 on the line at the Trophy Cup. You, of course, won the event 2 years ago, and last year you came within, I guess, a lap of winning it again. So, what do you think your chances are this weekend?
Well, it's hard to say. Everything's got to fall into place. Last year, like I say, it was down to the last lap, and between Hod and I, and he got the jump on the restart on me and passed me, and we lost it by one position. So, really trying to go into the mindset of the weekend of finishing the races and just being there at the end is important, but we learned a lot last year by I got into a crash early and came back out on the track and came back up through the field really well and just kind of hung it out there, and I need to go do that again this weekend, and I think we have the ability to do it. Definitely the car's there. Dave Haver's done a great job with the motor and getting that thing up to par, so I think we have the ability to do it. We just need to go out there and have everything go right for us.
Well, hey, before we let you go tonight, we'd definitely like to give you a chance to thank all your sponsors and partners that have made this championship possible for you.
Well, the biggest person that I'd like to thank right now is Dan Simpson in the KWS Series. Without Dan doing what he's been doing and putting up the ability to go out and race, we wouldn't be here racing for a championship. And Dan and the whole KWS team, all the officials that have come through all year, we've had a great situation, and we've been working hard to get the thing right. And I think it shows here at the end of the year, the race here at Cotton Classic. So many cars turned up. It was such a great event. Not a big mess of wrecks and stuff. It just shows you the caliber of teams that are coming out to race these events. It was nice to see my brother out and racing with him, with Clyde Lamar, and it's good to get some of these car owners that have been a part of this in the past back out and racing, and I'd like to thank Dan for doing that, and hopefully next year that continues. I'd also like to thank Katie and Maury Williams for putting the team out there and giving me the equipment it takes to do this. Ashley Smith, Bobo Scoville, Sean Greeley, and I'd like to thank Chris, Fireman Chris we call him. A lot of dedication from my guys, the team. They put a big effort out for me. I'd like to thank my family. They've been behind me this whole time and putting out the effort it takes to go out there and be able to do the job. I'd like to thank K&N, Redline Oil, all my partner sponsorships with FK Rod-Ins, Butler Built. A lot of these guys put a lot out there. Longacre and Weld Racing Wheels, Vortex Wings, Kading Performance. All these guys put every little piece they can, and that's what gives us a championship caliber car to go out and do the job that we do. We have a lot of local guys like JP's Paint and Body Works, Platinum Powder Coating. All these guys put in what they can, and that's what gives us the championship caliber car. And hopefully we can go out next year and back this one up.
Well, hey, once again, congratulations on the championship. It's a pleasure having you out here. Like we said on Saturday, you're definitely one of the biggest ambassadors that we have in California, and definitely want to wish you the best of luck at Trophy Cup and go out and get that 20 grand.
Gary, thank you. Thank you for having me on, and thank everybody for listening. It makes a big difference to us that everybody listens, and hopefully everybody comes out next year, comes down to the car, and makes it a big family event and be a part of it.
Well,
Well, fans, you just witnessed some great highlights from our year-end race at King Speedway Cotton Classic. Gary, I don't know if it gets any better than that.
No, Brand did a great job with the highlights from the autograph session to the on-track interviews. Just a great night overall. And we also heard an interview with Jonathan Allard.
Right.
Our champion. I mean, a guy that's really become a huge ambassador for the sport of sprint car racing out here. I think he and Brent Kading, when you point to drivers on the West Coast, it doesn't get better than those two guys.
If you talk to anybody around the country, there's two names that are always synonymous with California. It's Brent Kading and Jonathan Allard.
Yeah, and you talk about product companies. I mean, Butler Built Performance. You saw congratulations to Jonathan Genie and them. He's become just a huge, huge asset to the sport of sprint car racing. And think about how long he's been driving for the same team now. 8 years with Maury and Katie Williams.
3 championships.
3 championships. He's got 3 dirt cups in that time span. A trio of Dave Bradway Jr. Memorial wins. I mean, the list goes on and on. You look at the stats from the last 15 years, and there's not many drivers ahead of Jonathan Allard in California.
When it came to the Cotton Classic, the final night of the season, it was all about 5th, 6th, 7th place. Who was going to get 5th place? We had 3 drivers, McMahon, Croft, and Statler, all battling for that 5th spot, Gary.
Very entertaining battle for the fans to watch all night long, and you look at some of the bad luck that a couple of the guys had. First off, Jason Statler, leading this heat race, had the spindle break in the left front and lost his entire wheel.
That's 7 points to win that race.
He lost all.
There was only 9 points between all 3 of them.
And then Jason transferred to the last chance qualifier. And something else interesting is he led the LCQ for a long distance, got passed by a couple guys, so he did not earn his time back behind the dash cars.
Yeah, I know.
So he started deep in the field and charged from 20th night.
20th night. Just think if he would have started ninth. The possibilities all night long. You were up in the booth trying to calculate what ifs and the points, and it was hard to keep track of where everybody was and what they could do.
And you look at a guy like Willie Croft, the other driver in that tight battle. Had a tough way to start the night. Then he won the last chance qualifier, and in the main event early on, had the rear end brake, so it really cost him a lot of money and a lot of points.
Came down to the final lap of the final race of the season. But Bobby McMahon taking that 5th place points, moving up from 8th last year.
Yeah.
Move up for that McMahon Motorsports team.
Mr. Consistent, and you talk about ambassadors for the sport with Jonathan Allard, Maury Williams, Ashley Smith, but the McMahon family. Think about how long they've been around. I mean, from the Northern Auto Racing Club, the Golden State Challenge Series, and now Bobby and Sean racing with the King of the West Series.
Sean, another McMahon coming into sprint car racing is going to continue the McMahon family name.
Yeah, definitely. And think about how long Bobby's been racing sprint cars. He started in 1982.
82, it's hard to fathom.
Unbelievable.
It is it's just hard to realize how long he's been around. He's been a Speed Week champion, and he's always been Mr. Consistent.
We keep talking about Bobby. Let's hear from him on that interview, George.
You did another great interview this week with Bobby McMahon.
Well, our guest on the phone now last weekend had a great run at the Cotton Classic in Hanford to lock up 5th place in the King of the West Series standings. We'd like to welcome Bobby McMahon back to the show. Bobby, thanks for coming on with us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, going into last Saturday, you were locked in a very close 3-way battle for the 5th spot in the points. Did you do anything different going into it, or was it pretty much business as usual?
No, we can't do anything too much special. We just went out there and we were just going to give it everything we had, and whatever happened, happened. I mean, we're racing against 2 tough competitors, so, between Willie and Jason, I mean, there was no laying down, and those guys don't lay down, so we just had to run as hard as we could and just hope we caught a few, catch some breaks, and we got a break in the heat race when Jason broke, and that put us in the show, and, from there it was just run as hard as you can for 30 laps.
Now, we talked about Statler having a little bit of bad luck in his heat race, but you ultimately won your heat race and then finished 6th in the feature, and you actually beat Jason by only 4 points to lock up that 5th spot. So it had to feel pretty gratifying to come out and put in a great effort and move up 2 spots on the final night.
It was. I mean, we were kind of a little dejected as a team, because we fell from 4th to 7th there with the next to last race at Chico because of, just got in a racing accident there and got taken out real early in the main event, and we were running in the top 5 when that happened. So, to go from running in the top 5 to probably finishing, 21st or 20th in that race, that kind of really took a lot of spirit out of the team, But it was just like, we had a long time to think about it, and it was just, just a matter of just coming, just running as hard as we could, like I said, and didn't wish any bad luck on anybody. We were just hoping that we could run better than they did, which we did, but, it took a little bit of bad luck on Willie's part. I don't know what happened to him, but he had a little bit of trouble, but, you know, Jason was right there. I mean, him and I think we battled, even though he came from deep in the field. He was right there racing with us in the feature. It seemed like 10 laps into it, him and I went at it for the last probably 20 laps or so, and had a great race between the two of us. And actually, when it was all said and done, him and I had a conversation. It was probably the most fun we had racing our butts off in a long time, you know.
Now, of all the drivers that ran last season with the King of the West Series and came back this year, you had the biggest jump of anyone, going from 8th to 5th. So that has to give you guys a lot of confidence.
It does. I mean, our goal at the start of the year was to finish in the top 5, and you know, we pretty much ran in the top 5 the whole deal. And like I said, except for the right there at the very end, we fell out of it. But you know, it was gratifying to get back into it. And last year was a minor disappointment. We thought we could run in the top 5, but we struggled with motor situation for a long time. And then when we finally did get a good motor, we battered our way close, and then it just seemed like the same kind of deal. We had some bad luck right at the end, and knocked us down to 8th, and then, you know, and that's where we ended up. So we kind of thought we could run top 5, but you know, I mean, you look at top to bottom, you look at those guys in the top 10, and there's no gimmies there. So we're pretty proud of our team and the effort that we put out. You know, considering I was talking to somebody there Saturday night, but considering that we had one motor, and that one motor lasted us the whole season without ever getting freshened out. So that was a hats off to the Bailey brothers and the motor that they put together for us. I mean, because once we put that motor in February, it never came out of the car until Sunday when I took it out to put my 360 in. So, you know, my hats off to them for giving me a great, reliable, good running engine.
Now, you know, I guess looking to the future, you began sprint car racing, you know, back 30 years ago, back in 1982. So what kind of plans are we going to see from Bobby McMahon next year? Hopefully have you back on tour with King of the West?
So we'll definitely be out. You know, I can't say we're going to run all the races. You know, financially, it's hard for us. I mean, we're going to run as many as we can, you know, but we pushed the envelope with, like I said, with that motor.
Right.
I mean, we were told to go 12 to 15 races with it and have it come out, and like I said, we pushed it to 25, you know, because we ran all the KWS races, and then we ran a handful of outlaw shows at the beginning and at the end of the year, and I just, you know, if we could get a second motor to where we don't have to put the stress on the motor like we did this year, you know, anything's possible.
Right. Now, of course, this season isn't quite over yet. This weekend we have the Trophy Cup at Tulare Thunder Bowl. It's always a great event and put on for a great cause. So what kind of goals are you going to have going into it?
My goals are always the same when I go to that race. I just want to, you know, 80 cars showing up to that deal, and I would say 75 of them are probably some of the best drivers we got. So just being one of the 24 at the end of the night on Saturday is always a goal. You know, and then, you know, higher expectations would be to run in the top 10. But our main goal is just to be in that A main event on Saturday, and you know, knock on wood, we've been able to do that on a pretty regular basis. Tulare's not, I wouldn't say it's not my favorite track, but it's not one I run well at. And for us to always seem to be in the A main event on Saturdays, it's just a spirit booster for us.
Well, hey, we know it takes a lot of people to put a competitive sprint car out on the track each week, so we'd like to give you a chance to recognize all the people that make it possible.
And I don't know if you have that much time. I got, you know, sponsor-wise, we got American Tool Manufacturing. Bailey Brothers helped out a bunch. Performance powder coating is huge. And then personally, guys that are there week in and week out, I should say set guys. I got to start off with the first gal that's the most important. It's my wife, who puts up with a ton of stuff during the week and allows us to spend late nights out in the garage and even later evenings at the racetrack when we do go racing. And Keith Espandola, Steve Stories helps out a ton. Crew guys that come out, Jimmy Peniagua, Samantha, my daughter Samantha, who's been a huge help this year. You know, Sean with his program, you know, he didn't get to race as much as he wants, but even when he's not racing, he's always trying to help out at the house to get the cars ready and stuff. And Glenn Gavron helps out. God, like I said, there's so many people that come and volunteer their time for us to go play on the weekends, and I'm sure I forgot somebody, and if I did, I sorely apologize. Oh, I got to thank ART Enterprises too, because without them, they definitely do take care of me on my race car and stuff. So Glenn and Art have been fantastic, and Pete and actually, Kyle Hurst worked there, so I got to race against him, but he's also a big help also.
Well, hey, it's been a lot of fun the last couple of years, Bobby, and it's been a pleasure having you on board with the King of the West Series, and best of luck this weekend in Tulare.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate you having me on.
Hey, welcome back to KWS Tonight. Gary, got to give you some kudos. You have become the consummate interview professional. I mean, every week you're calling the drivers, wherever they are, and the McMahon interview, another great interview. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I definitely want to thank all of our guests for calling in this season. A lot of people. And, I talked to them when they're on the road or in their job. I think Bobby was driving a truck when I talked to him. So pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what makes it special. These guys have real jobs, most of them.
Right.
And they take a break out of their job or whatever they're doing to inform the fans of what's happening. And I think that's what's made KWS special this year, is we're letting the fans get up close and personal to the teams.
And I know next year we talked off camera about doing more shop tours and more on-site stuff, trying to bring people into the lives of these guys, because they're not just professional race car drivers. I mean, they have jobs and they're like blue-collar people.
I'm gonna throw Tailgate under the bus here a little bit, because we had that all planned, and then Tailgate went up and left to work for PG&E, and now we had to retrain Brandon, and we just kind of fell behind a little bit. But next year, Brandon's going to be, he's in high gear already.
He's getting excited about it. That's a cool thing. And something else we're excited about, the banquet coming up. Something fans need to know about and teams need to know about is we have a special $99 rate for hotel rooms. Well, next Friday, October 26th, those rooms are going to be released back to the general public, and they're going to pay at least $50 more. So you got to get your reservations.
And when we say release back to the public, they're already in demand. There's a huge blackjack tournament at the Jackson Rancheria the same weekend we're there, and these people are wanting these rooms. We'll have it on our website, and all you have to do is call 209-223-1677. One more time, don't want you to miss out on one of those great rooms at a great price at the Jackson Rancheria, 209-223-1677. Don't be left behind on the $99 room special.
And of course, you got to get your rooms for both Friday and Saturday. Special announcement on tonight's program, something new that we added. I know you were up at the Jackson Rancheria earlier in the week. Our Friday night Fan Fest party is free with a paid banquet ticket, or $10 if you're not going to be able to make the banquet. But something special is beer tasting.
They would say, $10, what are we getting for $10? Well, now we've added 6 award-winning microbrews that they're going to be free tasting. We've got an hors d'oeuvre list that they put together. The chef up there,
to die for.
It's all beer-related food, so I can't wait to see that. We're going to have some great old nostalgia videos from Grove Hill, so you can come and see some of the racing and maybe even some of the banquet shots from the past. We're going to have drivers signing autographs. We got Stefan spinning some tunes for banquet music, or for music for this party. Gary, what for $10?
Yeah, in a nice quaint atmosphere. I mean, a lot of your friends you see each and every week, come on up, hang out. It's going to be one of those nights where it's just special, and fans always want to have opportunities to get together, like in the old days when everybody was like a family atmosphere. We're trying to bring that back and try to get everyone to socialize, have some fun. I mean, it was kind of like our breakfast that we put on earlier in the year.
Maybe I didn't emphasize enough the videos, not just one screen, 3 big screens around the room.
It's going to be a lot of fun that night. And then, of course, that leads into our next day car show, model car show. Entries continue to keep pouring in. You can get your entry forms on kwssprints.com or call the office. George Hagee's in charge of the car show. I know you've done a lot of car shows in the past, and this is going to be big.
A lot of interest in the car show, the model car show. Well over 200 models already into the model car show, and it's all race car related models, so that's going to be cool. It is I'm excited. I'm getting excited about the banquet because nobody's ever done this before. And we were talking about it. Usually banquets are one day. We're 2 days of fun and then a day of business on Sunday on the 11th.
Yeah, I think we're going to be working 7 days a week leading up to the banquet, putting in a lot of hard hours and work. And get your banquet tickets ordered by calling the office, 707-374-2222. And of course, by next week, we're probably going to have the deadline for banquet tickets because we have to let the casino know for a head count on food and everything. So don't wait. Don't be left out.
And before we go, Trophy Cup this weekend. I'm headed out as soon as we get done here.
I'm going. Who's your pick?
Shane Stewart.
Shane Stewart?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with TK.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's a hard one.
As long as they both come from the back row like they did a couple years ago. that'd be good.
That's why I picked them too. Thunderbolt Raceway, Thursday, non-wing racing. At its best, 50 entries already for that. And then we've got 90 entries for the Trophy Cup on Friday and Saturday. They all come from the back. It's like the old days. If you haven't heard about the Trophy Cup, you need to be there.
Going to be exciting racing, and remember to keep up with the latest news in the King of the West Sprint Car Series online at kwssprints.com, or like us on Facebook at facebook.com/King of the West Sprints,
Or Twitter at KWS Sprint Racing.
You can also subscribe to us on YouTube and also email us, kwsseries@yahoo.com. You can also follow us on Instagram. And for George A., Gary Thomas, good night, everyone. We'll see you at the Thunderbolt Raceway 19th Annual Trophy Cup this Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Hey, Gary, you know, we can't put on a season like this without a lot of help from a lot of people. And there's a lot of people we need
Quite
to
a bit,
thank.
yes.
You know, people like Goodyear Racing Tires. I mean, without Goodyear, I don't think the series would be where it is.
Nope.
They really got us kick-started this year.
They did a great job for us. We definitely want to thank Justin Fantozzi, the whole Goodyear gang. We're going to miss you guys, but definitely want to wish you the best of luck.
You know, Gary, one of the names that we've talked about, or at least I've talked about even before you started
Before I was born, probably.
Yeah, when I was young enough to announce.
Right.
Was Kading Performance. Brent Kading has been a supporter of sprint cars and helped racers throughout the years, and he really stepped up their program this year with the contingency sponsors. They kind of ran that for us.
Right.
Every week, get contingency sponsors. And the guys, you know, Brian and BF and Brent all get together and make that happen.
And of course, Brent's helped us with our Maxim chassis giveaway cars. So, I mean, he's done a lot of things for this series, and we definitely want to thank Brent Kading and, like I said, Bill Fullen, Brian Matherly, the whole gang for all of your support the last couple of years, and we look forward to more in the future.
Absolutely. And then the DES Incorporated and Driveback Services of Canada. Of course, those are Dan Simpson entities, but they contribute to making the series what it is today.
And then, of course, we have sponsors like Jiffy Lube and Jackson Rancheria, Vanderpool Enterprises, and Pennzoil, kind of all in the same kind of company line.
Absolutely. And you got Racing Optics. You know, they're one of the contingency sponsors. We've got Flowmaster, Ben Cook, Schoenfeld, Vortex Racing Wings.
Vortex Racing
Wings, we're going to give one of those away at the banquet.
And you look at people up top like Pit Stop USA, our hard charger sponsor. We talked about Ed Kokenauer. $200 a week for each hard charger. That's a big dollar deal. I mean, I think Evan Suggs got like 9 sleeves of tear-offs for that.
Is that right? Wow. And then BR Motorsports, our fast time sponsor, Pro Shocks, KSE, Winners Rear Ends. Of course, you talked about Autometer at the end of the year, $2,000 in
worth
gift
of stuff.
certificates.
King Racing Products, another Blake Robertson company. They sponsored our Showmaker Award. That's another $100 certificate for the person that gets a last transfer into the main event.
Yeah, I think you talked about Butler Built Seats. Jeannie Butler, a big supporter of KWS, and of course, Jonathan Allard, and many of the other racers on the tour.
You got companies like Weld Racing, I mean, ultralight brakes and calibers. They give you a $100 certificate each week. That's another high dollar deal.
Absolutely. Astro Titanium, Dirt Solutions. Am I forgetting anybody, Gary?
FK Rod Ends. I mean,
it goes on.
The list goes on and on. I think we have like 27 or 28 partners that help us out. And without each of these companies, the series wouldn't be what it is today. And we definitely want to thank each and every one of you.
Absolutely. And
Grant's Fine Art. We don't want to mention that. Gives us an awesome looking custom license plate for each Fast Time qualifier this year. Earlier in the show, we commented that we've got 11 different Fast Time guys. So a lot of people are sharing in that award, and they're loving it. It's something they put on their rig or put in their shop.
Grant's Fine Art is also going to be providing some special trophies for some of the special awards this year. Speaking of special awards, we've got some real special awards at the banquet we'll talk about next week. But yeah, I'm going to thank all these people. It just couldn't happen without you. Can't thank all of these people enough. It is just, you know, it makes our job a little easier when we got all these people involved.